What's up, y'all? I did not prepare anyone for this. This is um a stream that was inspired by BGS speaking about Hollerman, and this was also a stream inspired by Real Talk with Yanni and a stream she did last night, a video she did last night, and then a follow-up stream when she invited guests and speaking about the brother traveling and passport bros and um yeah, so more less of a response to BGS and more of a response to Real Talk with Yanni. First, let's get through it. Like I said, she invited women on to give their talk, and there were immigrants or children of immigrants, and even women calling from South Africa, and speaking about it was all jumbled up. You already know how these things go, but one woman spoke about a German guy, the South African young lady spoke about a German guy who I guess oh, what am I doing? Wait, intros, everyone, intros. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on your way in. What am I doing? All right, back to the story. So spoke about a white German guy. Her and her homegirl went out with white German guy planning on smashing. Duh. I mean, duh. What y'all thought? Right? Number one. Number two, and this is my favorite thing. This is kind of the background theme of Yanni's video, her stream that was about an hour and a half long, which is, yeah, white guys are doing it too, but they just do it better. They have more couth and more class. So they just found a way to backdoor right into some. And by the way, why this matters is because there was a Haitian young lady that called in. I don't remember. Well, she sounded like she didn't have an accent, so she possibly could have been born and raised in the U.S. There was actually a couple of Haitian young ladies that called in, so you already know I got an issue with that. Y'all need to stop ass kissing these 80-year-old women. Shout out to my fellow Haitians. Um, there was that. There was this is not y'all battle. Stay y'all big wide noses out of it. Shout out to my fellow Haitians. Um, and y'all know we got our own issues. Shout out to my fellow Haitians. Um, y'all over here playing the gender war game because y'all got daddy issues. Oops. Um, so there's that. Then there's the South African young lady, like I said, that called in. There was a Mexican young woman that called in also. So yeah, and they were doing much of what BGS was speaking about, where they're kind of doing this feminist thing. Um, what it's coming like is that ADOS women are doing what they often do, which is like scream from the mountaintops how horrible black men are, and like how black men are trying to run from their like dereliction of duties type thing, like run from black women. And actually, Yanni kind of spoke to that, and you could see Yanni had an epiphany for half a second, and she hurry up and shut that up right quick, and pretty much she like admitted like, yeah, it's cheaper in these different places. Life is cheaper. It's cheaper this, and I want to see black men happy. And her and one young lady, and they kind of went into that road a little bit, and you could see Yanni. For when you're saying something against something, but you start to have an epiphany, and maybe for a split second you understand where the other person is coming from, and you're like, no, 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 no. You saw it. You saw the transition. You saw Real Talk with Yanni do the oh crap. I get it. You saw it on her face, right? So let me finish that for you, Yanni. If we keep on telling these men they ain't ish and they not train tracks, train tracks, train tracks, if we keep on telling these men they ain't ish and they're not trying hard enough, which is where Yanni went with it. She didn't do the they ain't ish thing, but they try to find an easier way out. They're lazy. We were able to, and one of her subscribers who called in did the whole. I was able to lift myself up from my bootstraps. So now they sound like white conservative men. The whole lift yourself up by your bootstraps talk. Yeah, black women are on that when it comes to black men. Foolishness. But yeah, so Yanni did go down that road where you saw her have the epiphany for a split second, which is, well, we're telling them that they're not good enough. They're not trying hard enough. They're lazy. They're shiftless. Yanni said earlier in the video how, like, after watching some Kevin Samuels videos, it scared her to think, oh, black men think about us like this. Yanni, you know how long y'all been talking crap? Yanni, you know how long y'all been talking crap? Oh, I forgot. It's not talking crap. It's constructive criticism and tough love. Oops, my bad. Where are my manners? Right? Excuse me. So, and this is a rant this morning. Sorry. This is a rant. So, you know, we're gonna refrain from the profanity though. So, um, you could see that she had a slight epiphany of, oh, you saw it, and she jumped right off of it because yeah, Yanni, let me help you along with that. Yes, decades of telling black men how big of losers they are compared to white men. Yanni, you could go to the white dude. Oh, by the way, like Yanni is a full on like. I started looking at other men, you know, a little bit like, oh, okay, he attractive, and the Thor looking dude, and oh, that's cute. Go, oh, go, Yanni, oh, go. That extra sass with the extra neck rolling. Oh yeah, you can take that to the white dude. I know white guys, they are gonna love that. I hope you know what I mean by they are gonna love that. It's not what y'all think. It's not what y'all think, right? So right now what we have is ADOS women speaking to, because you gotta remember, like some of these people, they have a wide audience. Like I said, the young lady that called from South Africa, and they're yelling from the mountaintops how horrible black men are, ADOS black men in particular, or Americanized, or Americanized black men. And so you have these non-black women who do not rub elbows with ADOS when they're in America, or who live abroad, and they're listening to these women yap on about how horrible ADOS men are, and so now they feel a sympathy. They feel some sympathy for them, and they have their own issues with black men where they are. So now there's some type of kindred relationship between, and this is when we get into the real racist talk. This is when it's not ethnicity or how we grew up or how we were socialized. Once you start saying black men across the diaspora, once you even start implying or suggesting there's something defective with black men, you're no longer saying upbringing and socialization and such and so forth. You're getting into, whether you realize it or not, you're slow creeping into Auschwitz and neo-Nazi talk. Y'all might as well just come out and say it. And some of you did do the whole white men, they come over here too, and they some of them come for sex tourism, but they're talking about their yachts and they're talking about business. I'm like, what movie are you ripping off? So all the white guys going to Africa, or all the white guys going into the Caribbean, or all the white guys going to Southeast Asia, and all the white guys going to South America, they're all walking around here with keys to yachts and talking about their multi-million-dollar business. Y'all are full of crap. This is why no one takes what y'all are saying, even down to the sociologists are less and less taking what y'all saying seriously. This is why that white dude that produced um Catfish made that underhanded comment about how black women stay catfishing. This is why people keep saying those underhanded stuff about black women, because y'all will lie to each other's face. Y'all will lie to everybody else's face, even when there's no reason to, just so y'all could boost each other ego, just so y'all don't have to feel the pain of white supremacy, of the rejection of colorism from non-black men. So now y'all, so white guys are so respectable. They're going to these countries and they just move different. Don't you get it? They have more couth and more class. This is really what the lady was saying. The young lady was saying. What type of loser white worship talk are you on? Black men come up there and they just want to have sex with everything. What you think the white men are there for? And she was selling out ADOS men. Oh, we know the word is out. When we see them, they just a lick. Just get your green card and do this and do that, and we're gonna play them and da da da. We don't even want to talk to them. We see them when they come. We only want to talk to the ones that are kind of Europeanized. Straight up white worship talk. And you know what's funny? You know when somebody says something and you're like, okay, you're so missing the point. You're saying it and you're still missing it. Why aren't these black men going to Europe? But don't you get it? We don't want white women. That's why we're not going to Europe. You're saying it and still not getting it. Why aren't they going to Europe? Why aren't they coming to Africa? I mean, well, they do go to Haiti and they do go to Africa. What? The brothers are going to the Caribbean, South America, Africa, some in Southeast Asia, and that's it. They're not going to Europe because, contrary to popular belief, black women's inferiority complex belief, they don't want white women. That's why they're not going to Europe. Duh. Why are they going to Brazil? I don't know, because it's the second most populous country of black people on the planet. What? This is what happens when you stay in your echo chamber all day, every day. The answer is slapping you in the face. Why are they going to Brazil? Their preference. You mean our preference is other black women? Portuguese speaking black women? Why aren't they going to Europe? Because we rather not be with white women. If we wanted white women, we would stay in America. If we wanted white spoiled brats, we would stay in America. Duh. If we wanted entitled white women, we would stay in America. Clearly. Well, we want white spoiled women with a French accent, a German accent, or a British accent. We don't want none of them. This is straightforward. These ladies are calling into Real Talk with Yanni, and they're saying it and still not getting it. One young lady is speaking, well, I have 3 kids, and I have one baby. One of the kids is from a baby daddy, and the other one's from the other 2 are from a marriage, and none of them are giving me child support, and da 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 da. And I have to lift myself up, and I'm like, and you don't see why black men are running? I'm not even a passport bro. I'm not even a passport bro, but you don't get it? Staring you in the face. You're saying it. You are saying it and still not getting it. That's frightening. Wow. Right? Just watch somebody run a super red light, late intersection. Run the super late red light in the intersection, a major intersection, excuse me. Not late intersection, but a major intersection. Huh? Oh, that would have been a horrible accident in this early morning. But yeah, so I'm once again, it's like backdooring into white worship. Yanni, makeup up, weave shining, and claiming that now she's on what she's on because of Kevin Samuels. Black women, this is not just a black woman thing. This is a woman thing. When they go down a dark road, when they advocate for some BS, when they're on some BS, it's never, it's never, yeah, I'm over it. I'm just going to initiate whatever I want to do. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. Or this is what I'm on now. There's always a reason, and the reason is always the nearest man. Excuses. Always there. The reason is always the nearest man. When men talk about it, let me school some of the sisters real quick. When men talk about accountability, what we're saying is we can't use excuses. The world won't let us do what you do. That whole I did because she did, the world doesn't let men pull that. There's no I did because she did. There's no I'm doing as a response to what she's doing. No, no, no. You did it because you wanted to do it. Beginning and end. It starts there, it ends there. Well, she did, yeah, that's cute. You did because you wanted to do. Devoid of what she did. Devoid of what he did. Devoid of what society did. Devoid of this. I told her I didn't want to have kids and she got pregnant anyway. Yeah, that's good. You still got to pay this child support though. Get a legal job. You still gotta have to pay this child support. And when let's flip it on its other side with the XX chromosome, it's always, well, Tommy Sotomayor and Kevin Samuels. They start the clock with Tommy. With Blog Talk Radio. They start the clock. So y'all starting the clock at what, 08, 09, 2010, something like that, 2011? Y'all not starting the clock at angry black feminists coming out of the Black Panther movement, mad because some brother was piping white women. Oops. No, y'all not gonna start it there. Y'all not gonna start it coming off of the plantation. Some of the black women that actually were seriously in love with the slave master, and I'm not talking about no rape or anything like that. I'm talking about seriously in love with the slave master. No, y'all not gonna talk about black women secretly getting pounded down by KKK members. Nope. Black women who were also sleeping with white men during the civil rights movement. Talk about talking black and sleeping white, right? Nope, you're not gonna start the clock there. You're gonna start the clock with all the black feminists all through the 70s, all through the 80s. In the 80s, they were writing the books. In the 90s, they were making the movies. All of those black feminists writing articles, writing books, producing movies, editing this, all defecating on black men. Nope. You know how we know y'all disingenuous? Because y'all starting the clock with the passport bros. Terry McMillan got a whole story about getting played by a gay Jamaican. Oops. Like I said, ladies, like I said, Yanni, the truth is punching y'all in the face. And y'all still like, nope, black men, problem. Black men are the problem. All through the 80s, and let Extra brothers and baby boomer brothers say it. They'll tell you straight up, these black women been on passports. So y'all got an issue with younger Xers, millennials, maybe the oldest of Gen Z that magically got their finances together. But y'all have an issue with them and passports when women been doing it. I mean, literally, how Stella got her groove back. That was a whole big movie in the 90s. Y'all forgot? Yanni, you not that much younger than me. You forgot about how Stella got her groove back? I know your mom was watching how Stella got her groove back, Yanni. I know your mom watched how Stella got her groove back, Yanni. And your aunts them. So how quick we forget? And it was the same theme then. Black men in America are lazy bums, losers, overbearing. The ones with degrees think they kings and gods and blah, 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 and et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to go overseas. Get played by the most flamboyant gay Jamaican ever. Now Yanni talking about distancing herself and having her advocating for her subscribers to distance themselves from ADOS black men's reputation, because ADOS black men are going to be known as like these kind of shisty dudes that's going overseas just for sex tourism. Lady, trust me, black men are not going to be anywhere outside of the white worshiping people overseas. Black men are not going to do any worse reputation than them white guys have. Ain't nobody beating the white men on being disrespectful, on sex tourism, on any of that. Trust. All that condescending talk you think nobody's gonna beat white men and white women on that. Especially the condescending, nobody's beating white women on that. So you could shave it with your fake warning to black women. You know, these black men. Then people coming up with stories, and I doubt it was true. But one of the Haitian sisters talking about, she was in Thailand, and the lady at the counter was like, "Oh, yeah, are you here with the man?" And she's like, "No." Oh, okay, good, because their reputation is already so bad. Yawn. First of all, I seriously doubt that story's true. A hotel worker, a Thai hotel worker, looked you in the face as a black woman and asked you if you have a black man, and when you said no, or are you with the black man, and when you said no, she said good, and went on to explain how horrible they are. I, I'm not saying it's impossible that that story is true, but I highly, that once again, y'all stay lying to each other just to prove a point. All that, ladies, y'all don't see y'all older extra mothers now and boomer mothers. They did the exact same thing with each other. Fake stroking each other ego. You see Yanni with the fake surprise face no matter what these girls say. Y'all stop placating each other. It's actually really not healthy. It's actually really not healthy. Your mothers did the same thing. That's the reason why I'm bringing up Terry McMillan, excuse me, and how Stella got her, excuse me, groove back and all of that. To emphasize your mothers did the same thing. Dear ladies, you're not doing anything new. The same way you're chastising black men, the same advocating for for women to also be passport girls, the same to all y'all are literally doing the same thing. The same black men are these shiesty. We need to go date white men, but like I said, the brother that was on FD Signifier's review of the Black Manosphere on the segment of divestment, and the brother looked like he was my age, maybe a little bit older, maybe probably a little bit older. Talking about his mother and his aunts was on that. So let's say he's 40. So his mother is at least 60 something, saying the same thing. Mother and aunt saying the same thing. I'm gonna go get me a white man. It's not new, ladies. It's not new. That means 60-something-year-old black women. We're talking about that. What's the interracial marriage rate for black women? 4 to 5%. It's 12%. That's only when you control for married black women. When you talk about all black women, 4 to 5%, right? Ladies, what you're saying, what you're doing is not new. It's actually dangerous to your health because it's causing y'all to be even more delusional. And these content creators like Yanni are causing y'all to be more delusional. And you would have thought she would have kind of came more to her senses, especially after how guilty she felt for Lauren Smithfield's situation. But clearly not. The most Yanni would give y'all saying something marginally sane is vet on men. She'll rail against, Yanni will rail against and let her people rail against black men, and then she'll pause for half a second to say, vet all men. Yawn. Nice little disclaimer, right? And what's going on, Better You? Better You says, and thanks for the super chat, Better You says, when they don't need no man, but ain't no nut in the sperm bank. Better you've been cutting up. Thanks for the super chat. Yo, and seriously, the reason why I'm making this video today, early in the morning, is I just got finished listening to BGS speak about the brother and kind of the setup. And I need to follow that story more. I haven't been following that story and kind of the setup that happened in Brazil, and then that's after I was done listening to Yanni speak. And yeah, it's I came in the door speaking about echo chambers, and yeah, this is what happens when you occupy your echo chambers. You don't really engage with much outside of that. You only engage with content or um movies or music or anything that only solidify and justify your already biased worldview. um and till you get to the point where these young ladies were, where they're saying it. I'm telling you, I'm watching them say it. I'm watching them say, why aren't they going to Europe? Because we don't want white women. We would want you, If you weren't insane and insufferable, we want black women. That's why we're going to the second most populous country of black people on the planet. That's also why we're going to Africa. Yeah. A whole lot of passport bros go to Africa. You want to know why? Because they want black women. They just don't want assholes. Oops. They don't want entitled assholes who said, I'm gonna put my bar at 6 figures, and if you can't meet it, you're a dusty. Yeah, no. So yes, ladies. Let's disabuse them of thinking they saying something special. Oh, they're going there because it's cheaper and because the women are easier. Yeah, and how is that a bad thing? Let's slow down. Let's rewind. Black American men who live in this white racist country and now have black women regurgitating anti-black misandrous white supremacist language towards them for decades now want to take whatever wealth they have and how hard they've worked, and they want to take that and go to a cheaper country that also has black women or melanated women, but pretty much Afro Latinas, black women, dark black women, light skinned black women, thick black women, slim black women, even some heavy set black women. They want to go to places with other black women who are nicer. And that's a bad thing because why, Yanni? Why, Yanni subscribers? Think about what you're saying. Let's slow this down. Think about what you're saying. Black American men, the descendants of slaves, the descendants of Jim Crow, the descendants of mass incarceration, the descendants of the drug war, the descendants of a targeted feminist agenda, heterosexual straight black men with the means are taking those means and going to predominantly black or melanated countries to potentially, y'all say sex tourism, that's some BS. Some of them dudes are going over there for that, and even if they are, but most of these guys are going to look for wives, and if they happen to have sex with other random women, so be it. And that's a bad thing because why? First of all, real talk with Yanni and your subscribers. Y'all already said y'all don't want these men anyway. Y'all already said they're losers anyway. Even one of your subscribers who called in said, I thought these guys were weird and they were, they just weren't doing well with women in America. Yeah, or they are doing okay with women in America. They just don't see how they're going to make a wife out of a woman who's talking about 6 figures and he's 28 years old. At least if the women in overseas, even if he bring her over here, are materialistic, they're not 6 figures materialistic. Not yet, at least. So yeah, they're cheaper and nicer. How is that in any way possible a bad or negative thing? Think about that. They're trying to go overseas because the women are nicer and more pliable and more agreeable. And every man on planet Earth is like, what? Go complain to white men about that. Watch them laugh you out the room. Go complain to Asian men about that. Watch them laugh you out the room. Black men want to go to Africa, and especially that most non-black people practice flat blackness, so black people are just black people. Black men want to go to Brazil. Black men want to go to Africa because they're saying the women are nicer and they don't want to deal with black American women. And the white men are talking to you while they're going to the airport to do the same thing. More going to East Asia though. Black women, you forget you're still westernized women. You're gonna deal with the same. That's why we laugh when y'all talk about these white guys. These white guys don't even want to deal with white women in America, let alone they're gonna deal with black women in America. Have fun with that. Y'all forgot who the original passport bros were and are. You forgot. Trump's wife is from where again? Oops. His ex-wife was from where again? Oops. John Kerry's wife is from where again? her heavy ass accent. Shout out to the Hines, right? George W. Bush's brother, Jeb Bush. His wife is what again? Yeah, better stop playing. Give me a second, yo. Oh yeah, thank you, Tim Cat. Mitch McConnell and his Asian wife, right? Mitch McConnell and his Asian wife. Y'all better stop playing. That's why when Kim was selling this out, the government needs to investigate this. Half of the wait a minute, you're asking the government? You mean the white guys, the white elite men that's really on some passport bro stuff to investigate working class black men, maybe upper middle class black men, the handful of us that exist. I said us, I'm not part of that team, but the handful of us that exist. You're asking rich white elite men who are passport bros to investigate black men who are passport bros? Let me know how that worked for you. Right? Let me know how that worked for you. And then you got real talk with Yanni and her group, particularly her group, speaking on some respectability. Now it's respectable. The white man move like this when they come to our country. Boy, if y'all don't get y'all white worshiping selves up the hell up out of here, it's slapping y'all in the face. Why aren't they going to Europe? Because they don't want white women. But those same black women turn around and say, well, the white men, when they come to our country, they're talking about business and yachts and da 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 da. Get your lying nigger lips out of here. Shout out to Charles Faulkner Jr. I was in Thailand and the lady asked me if I'm here with a black man, and when I said no, she was like, good. Yawn. Y'all talking about sex tourism. Don't make white men laugh in your face, ladies. Because some of them sex tourist white dudes, they not even going for the women. Oops. Think Hangover, what that was Hangover 3? Hangover 2 or Hangover 3? Think that's just a movie. Oh, so I came in you. No, I came in you. We came together. The white guys are telling you in the movies what they be on. They're telling you. But shout out to the brother LAR. Like he said on the video, I think a couple days ago, y'all be giving the white boys passes. Y'all be letting the white boys be all type of bi-curious and everything. And y'all still be messing with them. That's what Ed was right. That's why y'all would. Destiny could make that joke. Yeah, I got blue hair and I could still snatch half of your black women with the blue hair. She won't let you have blue hair though. She won't be interested in you if you did it. Ed's right about that. Maybe because y'all move like that, y'all think black men move like that. For real. Indigo Flow says, inners are doing something I don't like. I'm gonna call Zaddy Karen behavior. And that's what it is. That's what it is. You know, some of the sisters, they just want to practice Karen like behavior. Because black men that actually have the resources and are getting their passports and dipping off. And remember, like the young lady said on Obsidian, they got an issue with us singing. Y'all are being so loud and y'all are singing. And I'm happy Obsidian said it too. Like, y'all had how Stella got her group back. I was a kid. I saw how happy black women were to see the representation of black women going overseas and finding exotic black mandingo love overseas. so we could cut the crap with the y'all need to stop singing. Y'all too loud. Oh, just go. Y'all done made whole movies about how horrible something new with what's her face, right? Y'all remember the scene she on the street, she's looking at the brother, she looking at the brother nose, she looking at his teeth. Ugh, she end up with the white guy. Now in real life, oops, uh-oh. And she's still bad. But in real life, her love life, oops, oh well, yeah. What's going on, Nino? Right? Same thing with Regina Hall. I'm over 50 now. She got the whole song. I'm over 50 now. I guess that means I'm invisible. No, Regina, you are still fine as hell. Which makes black men think you're crazy as hell. Regina Hall gotta be one of the finest 50-something-year-olds in Hollywood right now. And that's what makes your relationship life scary as hell to black men. I don't know about white guys. Maybe you could pull a chili and date the less famous, younger white dude that's like 10 years younger than you, and we're gonna see how long that lasts. But okay, maybe you could pull a chili, Regina Hall. Even pretty without makeup. What that mean? So y'all keep and you know what's interesting? I've said this before. I think I need to stress it here because I've brought up celebrities. All the celebrity black women who got passports, who've traveled around the world once, twice, three times by now, who have access to the rich, wealthy, well-connected, old money white guys. And we could count maybe on a couple of hands how many of them actually end up with those men. And yet you have the real talk with Yannies, all the divestors and swirlers, even the divestor and swirler advocates like Paris Milan, who is still with an African brother but still does this kind of talk, and they're speaking like they don't see Taraji losing it right now. Regina Hall, Janet, name them, name all the extra. I already told y'all this. If y'all think the extras had it bad, wait until the millennial black stars come of age, when they start getting 50 and 60 something. Y'all see Vivica A. Fox. Y'all see Lisa Ray. And y'all don't get it? These women been in Hollywood for 20 and 30 years. Some of them even longer than that. Excuse me. They've been in Hollywood for 20 and 30 years, Yanni. You think they're not married to a white man because they too loyal to black men in Hollywood? Halle Berry is a prime example that that's some crap. Is Tyra Banks still married to the white dude? Right? You have so many stories of how much that's crap. Black women, at some point, after you done running into that wall 1 zillion times, you're gonna realize first, black men are your best choice, clearly. Secondly, you don't got the options you think you have. That's where Kim was coming from with that video. Kim from For Harriet, when she was like, well, I may not have the choices I want. Or she said options, choices. But I have the choice not to F with you. That's what it was coming. She went to Harvard. Y'all hear me? Kim from For Harriet attended Harvard. She know. She know about old white money. She know them white boys ain't checking. And when I say that, once again, That's the racism. I'm not even going to, on y'all weight or y'all attitude, because even if y'all weight in y'all attitude, excuse me, and the negative stereotypes were gone, you would still have being black in America, even as an educated black woman, right? And these things are slapping y'all in the face. And your problem with because as much as I disagree with Ostefco, and I poke fun at Ostefco every once in a while, right? And I critique some of her videos, but the candor was there. The honesty of like, yeah, it kind of hurts the passport bros thing. That let's not be obtuse. That kind of hurts. Now she's saying that because she want to see black men with money be with every extra average black women for y'all ego. But at least she being a little honest with it. She not pretending like it don't bother her. But the rest of y'all with the extra pride, extra sauce on the pride, let them go. I don't care. They just going over there because the women are cheaper and the women are they're easier, or they think they're easier. And okay, you realize all men are trying to do that right now, right? Chinese men are trying to move into Africa, or mainly Southeast Asia. Yes, Chinese men are crawling over the Vietnam. They trying to make their move because first of all, how many more black excuse me, Asian men in China there are over Chinese women? That's what men do. That's not a black man thing, that's a man thing. The white men in Canada, America, Europe, trying to find easier wives all over the planet, mainly in East Asia, Southeast Asia, a teeny bit in South Asia, in Latin America. Black men just not get on their passport bro stuff. Asian men in America realize that Asian women in America ain't checking for them like that. They checking for white dudes, so they going back home. Especially the guys that are in tech or in STEM. Oh yeah, they going back home. I'm gonna make this 150 a year stretch. And we're chastising black men for doing what every other man does, every other group of man does when they think, you know what, this is untenable. The women here, bar is way too high. They want you to have the money, have the height, have the looks, have the shape, have whatever personality that's and feelings that are fleeting. Nah. And this is where Destiny gets his talk, right? Same thing. Excuse me. Same thing with Yanni. Yanni was doing a lot of that talking where it's like y'all don't want to elevate, y'all don't essentially black men don't want to build, kind of the lazy talk, right? Like, and she acknowledges for a second racism is a thing, and then she does the whole yeah, but I'm an empath, and I have feelings, and because I guess this is her trying to say she's taking a little easy on black men, but I'm gonna tell you to get your ass up and da da da. Nobody want to hear y'all super materialistic women try to motivate black men just to make six figures so you could put a new Benz in the driveway every couple years. Nah, you still working us to death, by the way. I know that's the goal because you actually like that. What did that tweet say that Dr. T shared a couple years ago? I miss the days when men would just die and leave you their life insurance money. maybe a good start would be not to think you're that much smarter than black men. That part too. Like we don't know you trying to work us to death for your own ego. You want us to have status for your own bragging rights. Once again, shout out to Ostefco for actually saying it. I want a gorgeous man, and she implied why, but she didn't say it because I have a thing with how I look in the mirror, and I want a gorgeous man so I can say, look, I know y'all don't think I'm that pretty, but look at the dude I got. Right? And Nino says Chili was all kind of fine, all kind of. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Once again, Nino says Chili was all kind of picky. Now she's setting in on older age for a regular white dude who's making her obey. I think it's an experiment. Maybe. But she's with from my understanding, she's with one of the white dudes from A Boy Meets World. If y'all remember that show from the 90s, right? Who I think once again is like 10 years younger than her, if I heard correctly. And I guess, right? Once again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with her being with a younger white dude, but who's less famous and has less money. Shout out to Lonnie Love. All of these, like I said, Taraji told y'all, Carrie Hilson told y'all, even Nicki Minaj tried to tell y'all. Y'all don't want to hear it. Chili's an example. Chili, Halle Berry, all these people that end up with the white guy that make less money and is less famous and has less notoriety. So y'all ignore the women that try to tell y'all, and y'all mums the word or try to flip it like it's a positive thing because y'all know y'all was just talking crap about these people 5 seconds ago, when the more established black woman ends up with the white guy. Okay, she ends up with the white guy. She might even end up with a chisel chin white guy, 10 years younger than her, less famous than her, less money than her. But even Amanda Seales told y'all. I forgot Amanda Seales' video. Amanda Seales tried to tell y'all. Taraji tried to tell y'all. Carrie Hilson tried to tell y'all. Nicki Minaj even tried to tell y'all. What's her face? How you doing? What's her face? Oh, I forgot her face is there. Her name is slipping. The lady with the talk show that y'all be making fun of and say is built like a dude. She tried to tell y'all, but y'all don't want to hear it. Wendy Williams. Boom. There we go. I remembered. Right? Wendy Williams tried to tell y'all, but y'all don't want to hear it. Okay, ladies. And then you wonder why black men and an increasing amount of Western men are grabbing their passports, particularly the ones who can afford it. Right? That's unfortunate. King Camo, you know I'm not gonna answer that. King Camo be trying to set me up with the questions. You know I'm not gonna answer that. You know what I saw. You know what I saw. Yes, there was a theme. I saw what you saw. If you saw the video I saw what you saw. I'm steering clear away from that because I don't want to make that the focal point. We know what that is. We know what that is. Had to get that cough out. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I could pronounce this. Let's clear my throat first. Kenyatta, I think. Okay, let's go with that. And Kenyatta says white men have perfected the art of extracting money from the rich American black woman just to play on her insecurities. Too easy. Too easy. LOL. Hey, brother, if y'all remember the story with the shea butter sister, what was her name? They had a shea butter line. I forgot the name, but she was messing. One of the sisters started messing with some Italian dude. Next thing they know, the sister passed away, and the Italian dude. It was two sisters. The sister passed away, and the Italian dude now got what percentage of the business, or if not the whole damn business. Y'all keep on playing with these white men, man. They smell y'all coming. They even when y'all don't overtly talk crap about black men every 5 seconds in front of them, they could smell it. Y'all gotta know, right? Y'all gotta know the white men smell it. I know y'all don't want to hear it from a man. I know y'all don't want to hear it from a black man. The white guys smell it. The Latino guys smell it. They smell it. Just like how y'all say the white women smell it on us, the Latinas smell it on us. I believe you. I believe insecure brothers, the angry brothers that they talk crazy about black women in front of Latinas and white women and whatever. Yeah, those white women, they smell it, and if they see you as a lick, they're gonna use you. I agree. Black women are not wrong about that. I think y'all underestimate how much the men and the men are gonna do worse because they're not just gonna take your money, they're gonna pipe too, and they might get you pregnant, and they still gonna dip off on you. So now you got a sore back, a sore vagina, maybe a bun in the oven, possibly a disease, and a horrible slave play story, and you can't tell nobody. Oh, horrible. Because when you call Real Talk with Yang to tell her your story, you know what she's gonna tell you? Nothing. She's just gonna say vet all men after you go venting to her. You know what Chrissy gonna tell you? Nothing. She's gonna say the same type of thing, vet all men. You know what Lexus X is gonna tell you? Nothing. She's just gonna use your story for the next time she does one of those. Well, the white men every once in a while, occasionally, sometimes, possibly be messing up too. Yeah, sounds nice. Sounds nice, but yeah, I don't know. That's. So I just wanted to get that rant out earlier. Like I said, I listened to Real Talk with Yanni. I listen to BGS. Um, to the brother in Brazil, keep your head up. I like I said, I haven't followed that story. I don't want to speak on it too much, but like I said, following Real Talk with Yanni, and she spoke about the story also. That's kind of how she went into her talk about these passport bros, and the usual talking points. Black women they don't miss an opportunity to jab at black men and compare black men to the mythical, magical white man. That's why y'all hear me always call the white man the mythical, magical white man. Right, and her the people that called in, yeah, the people that called in, that's what they were on, and I mean, you know, King Camo, like I said, King Camo trying to get me to say it, but we know what that is. If y'all watch that video, y'all will see the sisters calling in, and yeah, and hey, Mr. Z ain't no Casanova neither, but yeah, hey, sometimes these things are staring you in the face, right? And like I said, listening to her speak, listening to some of her subscribers call in um and speak about the passport bros and speak about black men and what hits your mind and speak about white men in this magical way. The white men come to the country and they're talking about yachts and they're talking about businesses and they're talking, and I'm like, what? Yachts? How many white men got yachts? How many men got yachts? How many people have yachts? And all of this business talk. Once again, 56 million millionaires on planet Earth. Let's be nice and double it and say 102 million millionaires on planet Earth, or 112, that would be 112 million millionaires on planet Earth. Let's be nice and say they're not counting the ones that's making it off of illicit money. Y'all trying to tell me black women just keep on running into millionaires, particularly non-black millionaires? Come on, man. With yachts and business and these big businesses and they talking big money moves and stop. Stop blowing smoke up other women's anuses. I promise you, ladies, we date you. We talk to you. You are our sisters, our mothers, our aunts, our grandmothers. When y'all blow smoke up each other rear end, y'all think y'all are protecting each other's emotion from the big bad black man and from the white racist society. You know what y'all really doing? Making each other more delusional, and that actually has negative repercussions on your life. Mr. Z is not just saying that to say, no, come into the darkness just for the fun of it. No. When y'all don't deal with the real, it actually has negative repercussions on your life. I would like to direct you to Vivica A. Fox. That was Kevin Samuels' whole message about her. And she was so bitter about it that when he passed away, she danced on his grave. That's what we're speaking about. There's nothing wrong with a black woman encouraging another black woman, but the delusional talk with every once in a while, that all men. That's first of all, that's corny as hell. Because everybody knows that all you do is chastise black men and speak about how black men aren't showing up at space compared to other men. Meanwhile, that birth out of wedlock rate for white men and white women, excuse me, is creeping up day by day, and it ain't black men doing it. Meanwhile, white men aren't marrying white women. Their relationships are trash too. Meanwhile, that birth out of wedlock rate for Latinas is over 50% also. Y'all just don't know what's going on in the world. Every once in a while, Yanni did some nice talking a couple of videos ago, and then she put on her tinfoil hat and went down conspiracy lane. Yanni, you know what the solution is for how black people, black women namely, can maybe survive this upcoming doom in the next decade that me and you both see? Get under a black man. Beginning, end. Oops. That doesn't mean y'all still not gonna struggle, but that means you ain't gonna be starving to death. Oh yeah, it's that simple. You could all that opulent, extravagant Coach Louis, Fendi, Birkins, all that, y'all could throw that out the window over the next couple of decades. Oh yeah. The greatest advice you could give your subscribers, Yanni, is get under a man. Fine, don't get even under a black man. Get under a man. But for most black women, No matter, even the swirlers and divestors, it's gonna be a black man. Them white men, they're not doing it. They don't even want to do it for their own white women. They definitely ain't doing it for no black woman. If if the impending financial doom that you think you see, Yanni, is coming, there is no one woman armying themselves out of this. Not for the average sister that's making so not even what 30 grand a year, $35,000 a year. Okay, she making 40. You think she gonna survive this at 40 grand by herself? Inflation kicking like 20% right now. $50,000 new car prices, 30, 33, $35,000 used car prices, 400 plus $1,000 house prices. Yeah, no, she ain't surviving this. Rent going for 15 and $1,800 a month, 2,000, 2,400, 2,500 for rent for an apartment, and a $40,000 shit, a $45,000 a year sister gonna survive this by herself? And not happening. Or she's gonna survive this while simultaneously hunting for a white man? Nope. The greatest advice that all of you can give your, from Paris to Chrissy to Yanni, the greatest advice you could give your subscribers, and for all of you ladies listening to me now, hear me and hear me good. I know I'm sounding like a lecturing ass dad right now. Hear me and hear me good. Y'all remember these ladies when y'all starving. All you ladies that called in the Yanni, y'all remember Yanni when y'all starving. When you 45 years old still living in your parents' house. Y'all remember Yanni. Y'all remember Yanni when you already had interracial relations with 4, 5, 6 white guys and don't got nothing to show for it except for a sore back. All that vet all men talk, yeah, that sound nice after you didn't spend how long on a stream talking crap about black men. All right. If black men are grabbing their passports and dipping off, and the most y'all could come up with is how white men are doing the same thing, but they're doing it with more class and more coot, and they got businesses and yachts, and I'm going to Thailand, and the lady behind the counter is asking me if I'm with a black man, and when I say no, she says good. That's the best y'all could come up with. It ain't looking good, right? And so I definitely had to review her video. Like I said, y'all be careful out there. Um, the clearly black women have got a wind of passport bros. They don't really got anything to say about it. It actually sounds a little funny when you really think about the criticism. Y'all don't want to build with us, but y'all want to take y'all money and go overseas for nicer, cheaper women. Yeah, your bar is to the moon. Number one, and I don't even really see you as being worth that type of effort. The early grave effort. They don't know how many men never pass $65,000 a year. Men in general, not even just black men. Y'all saw the astonishment on those women's faces when Courtney Ryan was telling them. Black women don't watch that, so they don't know. Right? All of that stuff sound nice. It sounds nice. And Thermocat says they are seeking international validation or victimization. Excuse me. Let me read that again. They are seeking international victimization. Look, from other women, other some of these like social justice warrior women, um, from overseas. That's cool. Black men don't want to build black, and some men even from overseas are going to hear that and believe it. Black men don't want to build. Black men are black American men are lazy bums. They're coming to your country because they see y'all as easy prey, and they think y'all are dumb, and just because y'all speak a different language, they think y'all are dumb, and they think y'all are pushovers. They're gonna try to salt the earth before some of us even get overseas, right? They're gonna try to ruin black men's reputation before black men get overseas, and they're gonna claim that black men are the ones ruining their own reputation, right? Like I said, the young lady that called in and like we see them as licks. When we see them coming here, yeah, we see them as licks. We gotta play them. We gotta get our green card. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. Meanwhile, that same woman getting piped down by a white guy, non-suspecting. White guy jumped right back on the plane and come right back to the West. Got whole white guy sex tourism videos online in Africa. Yeah, in Africa, in Southeast Asia, in South America, but the white guy get to move free. Nobody suspect the white guy. Right? And I'll end with that. That'll be my last point. To say they're not going to Europe, you think they're not going to Europe just because of the money? No. Black men are not going to Europe because the vast majority of black men are not interested in white women. If black American men wanted entitled, bratty white women, they would stay in America. Like I said, it was staring her in the face. She said it and still didn't get it. Oh, they're going to Brazil, they're going to these poorer countries because they think this and they think that. Yeah, they're going to countries where their money can stretch. Like every other man who does this does. Yeah, because I'm going to take my 70, 75, 80 grand a year and go to a country like the UAE to try to make it stretch. What? United Arab Emirates, for those of you that don't know. Yeah, because that makes sense. I'm going to try to stretch my $75,000 in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, in Singapore, old expensive ass. Yeah, that's it. Thing is, these type of people are saying it, but the agenda is so thick they say it and still miss it. How do you say it and still miss it? They're not going to Europe. They're going to this country and that country. You mean the blacker countries, the melanated countries? How many of these black guys are going to Dominican Republic and pulling them a white Latina because that's their preference? They're going to Dominican Republic and pulling white Latinas? No. They're going to Brazil for white Latinas again? No. They're going to Puerto Rico for white Latinas? No. You know they're not going to Africa for no white women. And the ones that go to Southeast Asia, they're going to Southeast Asia for white, super light women? No. Right? Indigo flows. Or comique. Indigo Flow says, United Arab Emirates, educational moment brought to you by Mr. Z Black in Effect. Oh, man. I just said that Indigo Flow was a comic in Creole. That's all. We don't say comedians in Creole. We say comique, which is like just you're a comic, right? Which is just you're funny, you know. So just slang talk for you're funny. Exact. That's my point. And Indigo Flow says, imagine going all the way to the tropics just to bag a white woman. If we wanted to do that, if we wanted white tropical women, y'all would just come to Florida and date mestizo and white Latinas from down here, or go to New York. The first gens that's from Puerto Rico or from Dominican Republic. Nobody got to get on a boat to Puerto Rico. You just go deal with some New Yorkers. You could go to New York, right? I'll drop you off in Bronx and you'll be good to go. Or you could come down here to Florida, Central Florida. You could go to Orlando, or you could come down here to South Florida. If you wanted a tropical white woman, especially if you wanted one that spoke Spanish. What? It, Indigo Folk got the comments today. He said, "We not trying to mejor la raza." Exactly. Toya said, "Mr. Z taking me out this AM." No, for real, Toya. I mean, like people make these comments and they're not thinking. If black men wanted white women, entitled, bratty white women, we wouldn't get passports. Why would we go to Europe? We could stay here for bratty, entitled white women. Number one. Number two, if we wanted tropical white women, you could just come to South Florida. Go to LA. Go to New York, where I noticed some Latinas in Chicago too. Pretty much the entire Eastern Seaboard and Western Seaboard. Definitely California. I'm pretty sure there's some white Latinas running around in Texas too. Some mestizo Latinas that some of y'all would think is white. Y'all ain't checking the hair. Look at the hair texture, the hair, and the nose. The nose be giving it away too. Brothers are getting their passports and going to browner, darker countries. I don't know, because they want browner, darker black women, which means they would want you if you weren't an a-hole in America. You know, he bringing home a woman that looked like you, probably more fit, but a woman that looked like you that's not an a-hole, right? Them brothers ain't going over there pulling super light skinned women, or racially ambiguous women like that, or definitely not white women. Them brothers is going to Africa to go get them a black woman, 4C hair black woman. Okay, they go to Brazil, the sister don't got no 4C hair. Most of them are still darker than a brown paper bag. Oh, they going to get their preference with a black woman that speak Portuguese? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. A fit black woman that speak Portuguese. Stop. Dr. Thunder, I don't know about neither. Email me, Dr. Thunder. Email me. And shout out to Dr. Thunder. I might be a little late. I might be a little late. Let's see. Right. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. And with that, everyone, because Mr. Z got to go walk his lady to the car. Um, you know, like I said, I'm not necessarily mad at the young ladies that called into Yanni. If that's their space to commiserate, that's fine. Um, but to make the statements that y'all made and for it to be staring y'all in the face and y'all still don't get it, right? And to speak up on white men like, yeah, they're doing the same thing, but it's different. Like they have more class and more couth. The same people that don't want respectability politics shoved on them sure do talk a whole lot of respectability when it comes time to chastise black men. When it comes time to defecate on black men, a lot of black women be pulling the white men move like this. Why can't you move like that? The whole time Mr. Z been speaking, I ain't tell y'all to move like the Latinas and the white women and none of that. I'm just saying black men don't like the way you're moving. But if they like the way white women in America were moving, they would be with white women in America. But they're not because they don't like that either. That's why they're getting their passport. You see the difference? But sometimes, you hear what you want to hear, right? And the agenda be so thick on you, the agenda sits on you to the point where you'll make the statement, the very clear statement, and you still don't get it. You still don't get it. And I'm gonna say that one more time for good measure. They're not going to Europe. Why would black men in America go to Europe looking for a wife? Who are we, Donald Trump? Unless we're looking for a black wife in France or Germany or Britain, that's possible. Some brothers got a thing for British accent, but they want it from a black woman, so they go to Britain. That's possible, but we definitely ain't going to Europe for no white women. What? And I'll end with that, y'all. Like that, yeah. Listen to Yanni's thing, listening to her stream last night. It just was like, wow. And her sister calling in, talking about having 3 kids from 2 different dudes, one ex-husband, one baby daddy. Neither one of them are giving her child support, and she was able to climb out. She don't want to hear nothing from black men. She making $70,000 a year by herself. Blah blah blah. She could do it. If black men could do it, lift yourself up by a black woman telling black men, lift yourself up by your bootstraps. And if I remember correctly, she literally said, by your bootstraps. So we got black women, white male conservatives now. Okay. I guess you part of the Candace Owens lane of things, I guess. Right? I guess that's how we doing it. Alrighty then. So yeah, it was black women calling in once again, pretty much complaining that black men aren't stepping up. That's kind of the angle that Yanni was coming from. Black men are lazy, they're not stepping up, so they trying to go have an easier time and practice sex tourism in these other countries because they think these other women are big dummies big marks. You know how black women often talk about Nigerian brothers. Ooh, goddamn, Mr. Z, you just said that. I did. Yeah, they think we think those other women just because they don't speak English are dummies, right? And they think it's an insult to say they want to take their money overseas because the women are cheap, because the lifestyle is cheaper. And yeah, the women are more agreeable and they're nicer. Yeah. Oh, why did you have to make it a super chat? Now I gotta read it. And I guess the final super chat for tonight is over. Excuse me. Well, it's gonna be excuse me. For me, it's gonna be night. I'm going to sleep in a little bit. Go take a shower and go to sleep. But D Scott with Yanni and her ilk are bimbos. Jesus Christ. I don't see Yanni necessarily as a bimbo. I see her as someone who just like it's not she's not connecting the dots all the way for why black men are thinking and moving the way they are. And I think even if she did, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. She done got so big on YouTube that she can't give what we're saying any credence. She can't, right? She has like 215,000 subscribers. She can't give what we're saying any credence. She can't. Her channel was built off of her losing weight, and then she got into this type of commentary, and now she's speaking about like how excuse me, after watching a couple of Kevin Samuels videos, now she's more open to dating outside of her race. But she was like, well, if this is how black men think of me, and I wanted a black man because I felt emotionally safe with them. Shout out once again to the black women talking about feeling less emotionally safe among black men than non-black men. Have Out of everything y'all say, that's always the thing that make me laugh the most. White men who perpetuate white supremacy, who live under its umbrella, who enjoy it because y'all really want upper middle class to rich white men. Y'all don't want no regular ass $50,000 a year white man. So you want one of the elites, the ones that actually benefited from white supremacy over the past few centuries. And you're speaking like that man is who you as a black woman who probably comes from working class, poor, humble beginnings, at best solidly middle class, and you're gonna have more of an emotional connection and feel more emotionally safe with the elite white dude if you could get him and keep him. That's always comical when black women start getting into that type of talk. Men aren't emotionally intelligent. They really mean black men. Black men aren't emotionally intelligent. Now Yanni's speaking about not feeling emotionally safe around black men, and you're gonna feel emotionally safe. Yanni, you making some real money off of YouTube. You're gonna feel emotionally safe with what white man? What rich white man you're gonna feel emotionally safe with? Oh, this is gonna be fun. Don't make me start using it, D Scott. Keisha's current events. Hysterical, right? So I mean, you know, I'm really gonna have to end it out with this one. God damn, I said that like 4 or 5 times already. But Indigo Flow says sounds Stockholm syndrome-ish. Oh, Stockholmish. Okay. Um, something nameless said it. He kind of helped me to expand my mind on this. We were having this conversation a few years ago, and what this reminds me of is this this is some of your end results of integration. For the good and bad of it, black people that see black people as the biggest adversary. black people that use this very adversarial language towards other black people, and black people that adopt very anti-black white supremacist rhetoric. Now, the way it manifests is going to be different than a straight out white racist person, but it's going to be black people oftentimes chastising other black people for everything, right? Across gender lines, across sexuality, across class lines, respectability, not being industrious enough, not working hard enough, all of that talk. And so when you get these kind of divestors or divestor adjacent or excuse me, divestor advocates, this is the type of language and rhetoric you get, right? You get this. So I don't know how much of it is Stockholmish. Give me a second, y'all. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Give me a second, y'all. Well, I've been had. No, she left early, you guys, so I don't have to walk somebody to the door today. So the conversation continues. So, let me read Big Kev's comment real quick. And Big Kev says, "What's going on, Big Kev?" And Big Kev says, "Thank you for the super chat. U.S.'s top 10 loose loose women with a large annual immigrant population and has almost a 900 billion sex work and recreational substance use industry." Yeah, the adult film industry, how much does that make? Right? Isn't that aren't those like when you really count the most visited sites? Aren't those like the most visited sites? Stuff like that. Hysterical. Better you. Better you says Z like a pastor got it 5 times before it's for real. It's funny because you're not the first person to say it. It is funny every time because it's true. I'm not gonna lie to y'all and say it's not true. It's true. Oh man. Better you said some Sundays were rough. But I'm lucky, like so I went to like, Haitian, so Catholic, and like it was like, the old kind of Catholic. So it wasn't, we were usually an hour, maybe an hour and 10, and we were out of there, right? So but growing up, my mom we would occasionally go to like different churches. My grandma, when we would visit in New York was 7 days. So 7 day churches, oh, it's Haitian 7 day churches, bro, you in church forever. Oh, you in church forever. That's like half your Saturday, number one. Number two, and then in New York, the churches have the kitchen in the bottom, so y'all do mass, and then you go downstairs and eat, and by the time you get home, it's damn 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? But my mom, we would go to different type of churches, and so I've been to Baptist, Black Baptist churches, and all type of So that's why you see Mr. Z when it comes to religion. I don't really chastise people about how they practice or not even necessarily what they believe in until we start getting to the flat earther stuff. Y'all, yeah, y'all a different breed. But definitely when it comes to spirituality, I don't even chastise people about voodoo and stuff like that. I'm Haitian, so I'll be a whole hypocrite if I do that. But I don't practice it, and my immediate family doesn't because, first of all, it scares the hell out of me. Secondly, I do believe in that kind of what goes around comes around when it comes to the spirit world thing. So I do think like you start messing with the spirit world, and the spirit world gonna start messing with you. And there's certain things you're gonna ask for and you're gonna want, and there's sacrifices and all that other stuff. And I'm not, I like my circle. I love my circle. So yeah, I'm not trying to sacrifice nothing for some material gain or something like that. So yeah, but when it comes to religion, I don't really bother people about what they believe and what they practice and whatever. It's just yeah, it's too much. But back to this topic at hand. So, um, I think that's what one of the issues. Integration and the way it was handled, and integration with second wave feminism and women empowerment. I think that's how you get to where we are. Obviously, the advancement in technology, women being in the workforce is kind of how you get where we are when it comes to the Black community and the interracial conversations the not interracial, but the gender conversation amongst straight Black men and straight Black women in the Black community. Oh, you could throw some of the LGBTQ talk in there too, because that kind of muffled is not the word I'm looking for. That kind of muddied the waters of the conversation too, because you have like these non-binary folks, and these non-binary advocates, um, like a Black version of Griffin who was on the male panel on Vice, and even a Khadijah speaking about these things. And oftentimes heterosexual women who claim they want heterosexual men are getting much of their talking points and advice from queer people like a Khadijah. And I'm like, so how the hell is this supposed to work? Right? And I'm saying all of that to say that's how we end up here with this conversation, right? It's how integration was pushed on Black people. It had to happen anyway. BGS is correct. Eisenhower came out of World War II and was like, if we don't fix that, that's going to be Black people, right? So, but the way it was handled and everything that came along with it, including second wave feminism, put us in this position here. And the fact that the masses of people, Black people particularly, Black women even more particularly, are woefully ignorant when it comes to money, when it comes to class, when it comes to the political and social environment, is also how we end up here. Their ignorance. They just want what they want. They don't know how much money people make. They don't know how much money men make. They don't know how much people got in savings. They don't know nothing about inheritance. They don't care. I want to stress that. It's not just the ignorance, it's the willful ignorance. And what I'm saying is that's how you get where we are now with Real Talk with Yanni in this passport bro conversation, and her, based off of some of the things she said, I'm gonna put what she was talking about in the pretend like she don't understand category. I think she don't fully get it. She's not a Black man, of course she's not gonna fully get it. But much of when I heard her kind of slip a little bit, I got the understanding that she kind of knows why, and she gets it. And if she was a Black man, she would be on it. But once again, 215,000 subscribers. At one point, she probably had more people watching, but at one point I saw like 1,300 people watching live, which is nothing to sneeze at, right? It's not the numbers Jason from the Black Authority be doing or anything like that, but that's still nothing to sneeze at. She's not gonna say that to those women. She's not gonna say, you know what, Black men have a point. Even if we disagree, even if we think they're the worst, why wouldn't they get their if we've been talking about them. She don't even gotta say talking crap. That's Mr. Z, right? We've been, you know, she can even couch it in her weird language. We've been trying to encourage them, right? For how many decades, and they're not budging. So if they want to grab their and she mentions this a little bit, but once again, it just leads me to believe that she gets it, but she can't express that she understands where we're coming from, right? And this is why I say it's so dangerous, women listening to other women blow smoke up their rear end for prolonged period of time. It's dangerous. because they're obsessed with, and this, that's why I call it toxic positivity. They are obsessed with just all the optimistic, positive, don't worry about it, girl. It ain't us, it's them. It ain't us, it's them. They're obsessed with that language. They're obsessed with the I'm healing and I'm doing the work, and which, by the way, Real Talk with Yanni went into that with one of her subscribers, how they healing. Real Talk with Yanni over here talking crap about Dr. Umar Johnson, talking crap about integration, talking crap about black men, talking crap about passport bros, but she claims she's healing. Alrighty then. That's what healing looks like? Okay. Shout out to you, Go Professor. Pause for the cause. Y'all already know. Go Professor was the first one to suggest I start my channel. So every time I see Go Professor, I shout him out and I remind y'all, right? So Mr. Z brought to you. Oh, by the way, all your hate mail should be directed to Go Professor also. Go Professor, I'm gonna throw you under the bus on that one. So y'all got any issues with Mr. Z? Y'all send the hate mail to Go Professor because he was the one who suggested I started my channel. So you know, y'all got an issue with that, y'all. Y'all send the hate mail to Go Professor also. All right. So yeah, so you know, I think this is what came with it, with the way integration was rolled out, and just the willful ignorance of Americans in general, black people in particular, and then black women in particular, right? And the splintering, the atomization of our society makes that worse because many people are just getting into their echo chambers. So they may have the information or they may have their opinions, but they're not engaging with the type of people where they can bounce that off of and understand, you know what, actually I got to tweak that a little bit, or I'm a little off on that, or I'm right about that, but I might have to work on my verbiage, right? And I would argue that Real Talk with Yanni, Paris Milan crowd, Chrissy crowd, they're not really engaging with what we're saying. They make caricatures of what we're saying, right? But once again, their everyday subscriber isn't checking out our talking points. They wait until Chrissy makes a video of it, or Real Talk with Yanni or Paris Milan mocking and making caricatures of what we're saying, and then, you know, that's how they engage with it. D. Scott said, hate, 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 hate. For those of you that know the Dave Chappelle reference, right? But yeah, so, you know, I think that's how we get a Real Talk with Yanni speaking about the passport bros, the way she was speaking about them, right? Like I said, it's staring her in the face. She skims along it a little bit, right? And then jumps off. Her subscribers run right into it. They say it. Why aren't these men going to Europe? And it's like, the truth just slapped you on the forehead. You just said it. You just said it. We don't have this kind of obsession for white women. You just said it. They're going to darker, browner places. Yes, some poorer places, definitely. Why would you go to a place that's even more expensive than where you're leaving? But they're going to blacker, they're going to Africa, they're going to Latin America where black people are. And some are going to Southeast Asia. They're not going to whiter. Brothers ain't jumping on the plane going to South Korea. Some are going to Japan, but brothers ain't jumping on the plane to go to China. Right? Like I said, the sister that said, oh, we see them as a lick. You see them as a lick, and the white boy that just jumped off the plane see you as a lick. That's great. So I'm sorry. My bad, y'all. Straight pipe Camaro just started behind me. Yes, definitely the V8. Definitely the LS. And he got to let that warm. So this is going to last about a couple minutes because I seriously doubt he just pulls off. That's not what us muscle car and sports car guys do. We just don't start and pull off. He's gonna let it idle for a little bit and then he's gonna pull off. Okay, yeah, that's my point exactly, Chubb Billy. Brothers ain't heading to Sweden. I said it. If we want to entitle white women, we would just stay in America, right? If we wanted, oh, okay, so he's pulling off a little early, all right, right. But yeah, if we want to entitle white women, we would just stay in America. But yeah, and I think once again, because these women aren't really engaging with they're not engaging with us. Okay, cool. But then they're not even engaging with our content in good faith. Y'all have heard me say, you know what? I agree with Kim on this one. Or like she said this on this video. I completely disagree with her on this entire video, except for these two, three things, right? Because I'm actually engaged. Like I'm going to get annoyed. I'm almost certain. I'm going to disagree. I'm almost certain. But initially, I don't know what they're going to talk about, and I try to engage with it in good faith, right? Most of the time. Let's be honest, I'm a human being. But these people, they don't even engage with our stuff. Forget just in good faith, they don't, right? So because of that, they either don't know or pretend they don't understand the passport bros, and there you go. And that's sad, right? Truly. So, you know, like I said, Real Talk with Yanni didn't do anything particularly more egregious than what she usually does, but I do think it is dangerous to continue to blow smoke up your. I mean, look at BGS got the dark news series that he puts up every once in a while. We speak about everything, right? Y'all see, I don't always talk about the women. I talk about different things going on politically, socially. I talk to y'all about the economic environment for you and your children. Um, right? But these people, all they do is both smoke up each other rear end. And like I said, even Real Talk with Yanni had a segment where she kind of spoke about some of the things that she think is coming down the pike, but then she kind of went down tinfoil hat lane a little bit. I'm like, this is not healthy. The best thing that black women in America can do to not suffer is to get under a black man. Get next to, get under a black man. It's it really is that simple. Like no, all jokes aside, no, it really is that simple, right? Big Kev says, and thanks for the super chat, Big Kev. Big Kev says they don't want American brothers warning Afro-Brazilian men about the tidal wave of Feminism. I know what you mean. Propaganda that is about to hit Brazil in the next decade. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. And thank you for the super chat once again, um, um, Big Kev. Actually, let me leave it up for a little bit. Of course not. Right? They don't want men to be black men or even maybe white men to speak to these other men in developing countries about excuse me, about what's coming down the pike with a particular brand of feminism, right? We're not talking about first wave feminism where your lady could drive and she could vote, and she could open her own bank account, particularly if she don't got no man for when she's actually single. We ain't talking about that. What we're talking about is the feminism that ends up being non-binary talk eventually, trans talk eventually, I don't need no man talk eventually. Um, I can raise these kids by myself eventually. I can raise these kids by myself. All I need you for is the money eventually. Oh my God, my son stopped the bell at 13 years old. Come get your son eventually. I kicked my daughter out the house at 16 years old eventually. Yeah, that. That's that's the feminism that we're talking about. The 16-year-old young lady wearing short shorts, and that's not the term I actually want to use. Short shorts, and nobody could tell her nothing. That's the type of feminism. The the Even if they claim it's a one-off story, the woman that tries to weasel out of something, so she called grape, or she called SA, right? Or she claims some man is doing something wrong to her, so she can weasel out of whatever issue she got going on. That's the type of feminism we're talking about, right? So of course they don't want black men speaking to Brazilian brothers, and you know many of these Brazilian cats are black too, but black American men speaking to Brazilian black men about this Western feminism and what could potentially come down the pike if they're not vigilant, right? So that in the next 50 years you could have um and it might be happening already for all I know. I'm not that deep into Brazilian politics like that or social their what they got going on socially like that, but you never know of if and it's very possible it is a country full of black people, of black Brazilian women comparing black Brazilian men to white Brazilian men and saying, well, slavery is no excuse, and look, we're going to call you, aren't you, and look, these white men built and you don't, right? And have queer Brazilian women try to give relationship advice to heterosexual Brazilian women, which is, it's so comical. There's no other word to describe it. Once you start hearing black women advocate for this non-binary talk with black women who are complaining that black men aren't men, we get into some real dangerous territory. Yeah, and that was my argument with Destiny, right? All that talk y'all are doing, these women are looking for men. They're looking for men. Go ask the bisexual men. Go ask the bisexual black men about black women being open to all of this stuff y'all talking about. Go ask them. Excuse me. Go ask them. And Charles says, "Oh no, give black men the mean, insufferable, overweight, delusional, entitled, hateful woman." Sarcastically speaking, of course, Mister Z. And seriously though, Charles, like, that's much of what the argument is, right? I'm reminded, y'all. Y'all heard me bring this up all the time, and we all know this reference. The Ian Van Zant. I raised my son to stand in it with women, with black women, like that. Literally, yeah, I know we're insufferable. Yeah, I know we're mean for no reason. We're mean for no reason. You gang banging on breakfast, nigga? These niggas are gang banging on breakfast. These sisters are gang banging on breakfast. And at least Iyanla was honest enough to say, I want y'all to stand in it with these women, even though they're mean. And I think that's the word the brother used on that episode. I think he did say mean. Thank you, Better You. And yes, I did. Better You says, facts. I think you called the double standard the black tax a while back. Yeah, the black tax. And if black women grow up in this white supremacist society, they listen to the music, they watch the television shows, they watch the movies. You know what country we live in, you know the economic structure, you know the social structure, the racial hierarchy. We all know it. Every group of people in America know it. Every race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, we all know it, right? As adults, we all know it, whether we want to speak about it or not. You got certain brothers and sisters that think that if they deny it, then it doesn't exist. They think that if we just speak respectability, then it doesn't exist. They think if we speak this hard work yourself to death thing, then it doesn't exist. We all understand the hierarchies in America, right? We all get it. So if black women are also part of this country, like black men are, then it is easy to try to hide your contempt for black men because of the black tax that you levy on black men behind intersectionality. You try to obscure, right, the way you think about black men behind intersectionality, which you then use as almost this moral cover to say, well, no, that doesn't really apply to me. So all the rest of you, white men, white women, black women, Latinas, Latinos, East and South Asian men and women, all the rest of you buy into these different hierarchical systems, but I don't as a black woman because I am on the bottom, because I am black and woman and LGBTQ, and this is how they weaponize all that intersectional talk to essentially tell everybody else to shut the hell up because I'm a black woman who happens to be etc 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 noun or pronoun um that that allows me to see the world a certain way, and therefore I have a more accurate reading of on this than the rest of you, including black men, including particularly straight black men, right? And so when we speak about the black tax, black women are charging black men with the black tax. I would like to direct you to the divestors. The only difference between the divestors and many other black women is that the divestors are loud about it. They're so angry and so frustrated, they don't care to be coy, right? They have written black men off. Or they're so angry that they know they're not going to probably get a white man because, many of these women are in their mid 30s. The white man would have been came if he was going to come. Pun intended. So they're just like railing, but they're like, screw it. I'm going to just yell to make you as angry as I am, to make you as miserable as I am. So yeah, the black tax coming from black women, is something I don't think we talk enough about, right? I don't think we, I don't think we give enough credence to black women charging black men with the black tax in a way that they do not obviously charge non-black men, specifically white men, right? To their own detriment. That's dangerous for them, right? Because all that talk Yanni's doing with vet all men, it sound nice, but when you spend hours on end chastising black men and every once in a while you talk about vet all men, that ain't what your subscribers are hearing. Your young subscribers in their late teens, 16, 17, 18 years old, in their early mid 20s, yeah, you could every once in a while do all that vet all men, but you just spent a couple hours talking about how black men don't build, black men don't want to protect, black men in the passport bros, all this loser talk. Yeah, it sound nice, but you know, Big Kev, I got the evidence to show that. And Big Kev says a lot of women of color and non-black men subconsciously worship white women. I got that. Yeah. However, most American brothers see white women as plain Jane, ergo, we're being blasphemous. Yeah, yeah. And let me leave that up actually for a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that w- I'm glad we're over this misnomer that black men are just running to white women, right? Now they're saying preferences. Black women are, this is more of a more modern terminology with the preferences talk, and now they're talking about more racially ambiguous black women, Latina women, right? But like for the longest, especially for those of us about our mid 30s and older, definitely the extra brothers, I know y'all like black women were talking in the early 2000s and in the 90s like black men were just hop, jump, skipping over stuff to end up with any random white woman. And I love to couch it in this way that I'm about to couch it in to show y'all how absurd it sounded. Many black women, not all, were speaking as if, and you could choose the attractive woman of your time or of your generation, but they were speaking as if black men were stiff arming Kelly Rowland, Carrie Hilson, for me, Kerry Washington also built women, and like running right to Honey Boo Boo built white women, right? Like that's how they were speaking. Like black men would were so obsessed with white women, we would like football tackle Kelly Rowland to move her out the way to get to any random white woman, but particularly the heavy white woman, right? And that was like really a talking point in the 90s. I don't know about the 80s so much. I was born in 86, but that was a talking point in the 90s and in the early 2000s. Comedians have said it, right? Different social commentators have said it. Scarily enough, and I know we don't rock with this guy anymore, but you know a person that checked that over a decade ago? Tom Likas. Tom Likas checked that. He checked the black. I heard it myself. He checked the black women with that. Wait a minute. You think so? You trying to tell me black men are skipping over skinny black women for heavy set black women? He's something along those lines. And he said, I guarantee you that black man would have been with a heavy set black woman if he wasn't with a heavy set white woman. And this is a white guy. Now we know, because of some of the things he said about Kevin when Kevin passed, you know, maybe he wasn't the best friend of Negroes, but you never surprised with that when it comes to white people, right? So this is some crazy talk. But they had to say it. Y'all realize black women had to say that? And it was often out of shape black women themselves talking about out of shape black women. I mean, excuse me, out of shape black women who themselves were speaking about out of shape white women that black men were with. Because black men are not chasing after no honey boo boos. And the black man that's with a white woman like that would be with a black woman like that. Right? And Kenyatta says, Bill, I believe Kerry Washington is the most beautiful woman on the planet, next to the wife, of course. LOL. Bro, no, but I'm telling you, right? Like that was and I don't know if you're around my age. Like I said, I'm 36, or if you're a little bit older, brother. But that ask Charles. You can ask Trell Bentley. You can ask the brother that's older than me. I, am I wrong, y'all? Right? The way they were talking in the 90s was like we was hop, jump, skipping over Vivica A. Fox in the 90s. Halle Berry built women in the 90s, right? The Lisa Rays, we the Mayas, right? For some of the dudes that like they sister little hood, the Monicas of the world, right? T-bars and Chili and Left Eye of the world. We were pushing them out the way. If you like your women extra super slim, the Brandies of the world, we were pushing them out the way to end up with like Ally McBeal built white women, right? That's really how they were speaking. Or like I said, Honey Boo Boo built white women. Meanwhile, every black man I know, a decade older than me plus, all they talked about was all the women from the 90s that we speak about now. And Trev Bentley says, gotta get the Michelin man built bitch. Seriously. No, Vivica A. Fox, ain't nobody checking for her. Let me get the Honey Boo Boo built white woman. Come on, stop. That's really how they were speaking in the 90s. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Right? Someone's correct me if I'm wrong. And that's much of the way they speak now. Oh, their preference. They speak about light-skinned black women like they not black. You let Chrissy tell it. Oh, their preference. Their preference. Their preference, speaking about black men, but I'm going to chastise and insult them and then advocate for black women to date, marry, procreate with white men or white Latino men. Let's be honest. Come on, let's stop it. So that I could produce those same preferences. And what you gonna do? Pull a crystalline kerosene and raise your daughter to stay the hell away from black men? Some of them are gonna listen, and some of them are not. How this makes sense? F light skinned women because and racially ambiguous women because they're black men's preference. But I am going to fight back against that by ending up with a white man and then potentially having a daughter who's going to be those black men's preference. But then I'm going to raise her to be Meghan Markle? Stop. Y'all don't even make no sense. Y'all don't even make any sense. Exact. Megan Good. How did I not put Megan Good up there? Exactly. And excuse me. Right? And so yeah. So tying everything up in a bow, um, the passport bro thing is going to continue to be a thing because it's been a thing. Men are going to go where the path of least resistance. This is like everything pretty much in our universe follows the path of least resistance. Just about everything. And like for you to essentially say, I'm going to be insufferable, I'm going to make it hard for you, because they're not going to say, I'm going to be insufferable. I'm not bend over backwards for no man. I'm not doing nothing for no man. This is a partnership. And you should want it this way, Mr. Man. No, we don't. And America thought they had it all locked down. And what they're finding is the men that have the ability and the wherewithal and the money and the resources to jump on a plane and be out, they are doing it. Notice I said men and not black men. Now, for the black community in particular, the black women like Real Talk with Yanni, the Chrissies, the Paris Malons, talking crap, bringing in your subscribers to also talk crap and glorify white men, like white men all got yachts and all talking about businesses when they go overseas, and they're not practicing sex tourism, and they're all extra respectable, and y'all are walking through Thailand and some random Thai woman at behind the counter is asking you if you brought a black man with you, and you say no, and then she's like good. All of that talk sound nice. It sound nice, but that's not going to stop anything. And you're welcome to grab your passport too. But as I said in the previous video, you're going to be hard pressed because black men got about 200 countries to visit to stretch their 70, 80, 90, 100,000, 120, 150 a year money. Black women, if you're looking for a certain type of man, you got like 24 countries. I want you to think about why I said that. You want a certain man socialized a certain way and has a certain type of money, and we're not even counting whether he's racist or not, or whether his family's racist or not, or anti-black. You got about 24 countries, especially if you want a man that was socialized with a certain level of understanding of women's rights and, you know, yeah. You got about 24 countries. For those of you that doubt me, I want you to take out your world map and look at all the countries and think about, honestly tell yourself, where would you want to move to where their understanding of human rights and women's rights and LGBTQ rights and civil rights and all of that, where would you want to move to where their understanding of these type of rights are similar to the US? And you tell me, ladies in particular, you don't come to about 24 countries. If we're being extra, extra, extra generous, maybe 30. Maybe 30 countries. So that's what I mean when I say putting a bow on it. You could chastise passport bros and passport men all you want. You forgot. Y'all told us y'all didn't want us. Y'all told us we were losers. You told us we didn't build. Well, we just critiquing you so you could be better. No, I don't believe in that whole verbal abuse to be better talk. That's yeah. Too many people get away with that. They say the meanest things in the world and they think they're being encouraging. What? I'm only insulting you to encourage you. What? Right? So you spoke to men like you don't need them, or that you just need them for the finances. They're walking wallets and overglorified guard dogs. And then on the other hand, you chastise them for not being emotionally intelligent enough. Translation, emoting the way a stereotypical woman would. So I need you to essentially feel and emote the way I do. Let's be very, and I want to direct that towards Destiny and towards Khadijah. Whenever y'all talk that emotional intelligence talk, what men hear is, I need you to emote the way I do. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. And better uses, bruh, I don't think it's 20. 20 here. Canada, Australia, most of Europe, the West. I know you meant the West. Europe, no, actually, you said it the right way. Okay, let me read that again. Bruh, I don't think it's 20 here. Canada, Australia, most of Europe, west of Poland. That's what, literally, me and my lady were talking about that the other day. I think I said that to you guys. Literally, me and my lady were saying, You don't want to go east of Germany. So we were saying it the other way. You don't want to go south of like Italy or Greece. And it's mess. Y'all don't understand. Like I'm a black man. I'm blackety black black, right? Not my skin tone, but like the way I think about these type of things. And so I hated saying that. I hated saying like you're not gonna go south of Texas, right? Maybe Greenland and Iceland, but like their population is like 3 people, and it's freezing half the time of the year, more than half the time of the year, right? So like we said, like Western Europe, maybe Northern and Southern Europe, America, Canada, Japan, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand. You skipping over the entire Middle East, even Abu Dhabi and the whole UAE. You can skip over that. All the Gulf Arab states, yeah, they're not as bad as the rest of the Arab states, but still, you skipping over that. You're not going to Iran. Y'all see what just happened to that young lady, and that was the moral police. Have fun, black women. All right, right. So you're not going to Iran. The Persians got nothing but whips for you. Those short skirts going out the window. Those tattoos, all those piercings out the windows. The Persians don't play that game. Um, so yeah, no, better you, yeah, yeah. Like I said, you said 20. I'll be a bit more generous and say 2 dozen, but you probably are right. Let's be honest. And if we're being super generous and we're putting in some questionable countries, right? Like Singapore is nice, clean, super nice, but like Singapore is like ultra conservative. It's pretty much a corporate state, and like I think they could beat you for like spitting on the sidewalk or like spitting gum on the sidewalk. So like as beautiful as it is, as rich of a country as it is, and like I said the other day, old Chinese money run the country. So like yeah, so like that's the drawback. So you get to enjoy the scenery and all the wealth if you got some also, but then that comes at a cost, right? You can't like y'all know I'm a gearhead. You can't modify cars in Singapore, by the way. So I'm out the picture. I can't go to Singapore, right? So like, yeah, no, better you might have a point. It might be closer to 20 than 24, right? So with that, y'all, um, I'm finally shout out to Better You like a pastor 5 times, but no, I'm finally gonna call it a day because I gotta go get some Z's. Not the car, although I would like to have own every Z. That would be dope. Um, Let me go get some sleep, and like I said, with the real talk with Yanni stuff, I'm not particularly mad at her. I just, once again, I think she's in her bubble. I don't know who she's bouncing some of these ideas off of. Um, it looks like it's just her subscribers who are definitely gonna blow smoke up her rear end, and vice versa. She's gonna blow smoke up their rear end, and we get to where we are now. So that's unfortunate. and that, yeah. So on that note, y'all like, share, subscribe. Um, and go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. This one definitely deserves the. So y'all don't sound like real talk with Yanni. Although I think she's watching a bit more stuff now, but she's still in the phase, and we all kind of go through that phase where the tinfoil hat be extra tight, right? So you'll watch something that's on the up and up, and you'll still find a way to kind of run it through the tinfoil hatty filter, right? And I've done it. I've done it, right? So Mr. Z is not saying something and trying to be hypocritical. I've done it, but I think she's in that phase right now. Um, and eventually, hopefully, you get out of that phase where you still know there are definitely things that the government and the corporations aren't telling you, or they're not on the up and up, and you're suspicious of them. But not everything do you run through the conspiracy theory tinfoil hat filter. And with that, you know That's why I tell you, brothers, to watch other non-manosphere content. I've said this a million times because I really want us to know I don't care about hoarding all the knowledge and always seeming like the smart guy. That's why I don't have a problem with y'all correcting me on how to pronounce certain words, names. If I get a date wrong, if I get an event or a name wrong, clearly, you know, yeah, I've always been self conscious about that, like not to think you're the smartest person in the room, even if you are. Okay, you're the smartest person in the room. That doesn't mean that other people in the room still won't have a one up on you on something, right? Even on something intelligent, one thing you don't know and they know, and there you go, just like that, right? So and with that, like I said, check out other non-manosphere stuff, right? And I'll keep my community tab going, always putting stuff on there. And I don't put as nearly as much as I could, bro. I'll be watching so much stuff. It's scary. I go to you. I got a problem. I got a problem with YouTube, right? I think they got to put me in YouTube Anonymous or something like that. But and we'll end right there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day, right? And I think Roger's probably gonna come on in the next hour or so. Y'all check out his channel. Um, and Mr. Z, we'll see y'all later. I might do a stream later. I was really considering the Destiny Part 2. I listened to him in Just Pearly Things go back and forth on PBD, and it wasn't too eventful. There was nothing too crazy. When he talked economics and stuff, I actually you already know. So that's where I have the lefty coalition is when we start talking money. If anybody ever want to know why Mr. Z keep on claiming the left, and that's why social and political stuff. That's why y'all never see me really go in on LGBTQ people. I don't really care what they do with their private parts. I just don't want y'all pushing that on kids. Um, so yeah, but when it comes to the class money talk, that's really why I'm on the left. And so that's why I didn't do a part two yet, at least, because I watched it and I was like, he didn't really say nothing too crazy or compared to how he was talking to Angry Man and Bernard Riley. So yeah, but I didn't check out the Fresh and Fit yet, so let me do that and let's see where we go from there. Anyway, okay, all right, y'all. Have a great rest of y'all day. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Mr. Z out. Yeah. All right, y'all. Yeah, have a great rest of y'all day. I had to highlight Trell Bentley quote before I leave. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Exactly. All right, y'all. Later.